Before passing judgment on her decision, let's delve into the life of Vicky Lowing in New South Wales. She spent her childhood on a sprawling 2,000-acre property and developed a deep love for wild animals. At the tender age of 4, she was already caring for blue-tongued lizards. By the time she turned 10, she was tending to snakes. When she reached 23 years of age, she adopted a saltwater crocodile named Rocky. When Vicky met her husband, he was fully aware of her passion for scaly creatures. So when he asked her to give up her beloved crocodile, Johnny, she made her choice. It's worth noting that it was her husband who ultimately chose to part ways. Vicky continued to raise her cherished reptilian pets, even allowing them to share her home, bath, and bed. Yes, crocodiles even nap with her. Now at the age of 60, Vicky has cared for Johnny for 22 years, ever since he was a hatchling she found on her doorstep. You won't believe what occurs in her house early in the morning. In the wee hours, her pet crocs make a ruckus in the living room, clamoring for their breakfast. Vicky awakens and tends to her scaly companions. She admits they can be demanding, but she cannot fathom life without them. Sometimes, Vicky mentions that Johnny and another freshwater crocodile wander into her bedroom searching for her. After their house exploration, they return to their aquarium in the lounge room. Just how many crocs does she have? There are 2 adult freshwater crocs in the living room, 2 baby crocs in the bathroom, and a sizable saltwater croc in the yard. This is precisely why her husband, Greg, decided to call it quits on raising scaly pets. In 2005, Vicky and Greg divorced after a long separation. She remarked, "Husbands can take care of themselves, but my crocodile can't prepare his own meals." And that's not all. Vicky added, "Men often like to be the center of attention in a relationship, but Johnny was like another child to me, and all my children will always be equal to any partner I have." Yet, when Johnny came into the picture, trouble began to brew. "We did nothing but fight. There was a lot of tension in the house," Vicky recounted. "He said I spent too much time on Johnny. It got really bad." She does, however, acknowledge that her husband worked 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week. Vicky recalled that her husband became jealous of the amount of time I spent with Johnny. He said I devoted all my time to the crocodile instead of him. In the end, he presented her with an ultimatum, forcing her to choose between him and the croc. Greg likely believed it was an ultimatum that would lead Vicky to give up Johnny. Instead, he found himself facing a tough decision. Vicky emphasized that he knew about her pets when they first met, so he knew what he was getting into. She recollected, "Greg tried to get involved in my passion in the first few years of marriage. I was a volunteer with an animal charity, and he would come out on rescues and try to help. However, he couldn't shake the feeling of being second best. But he always felt like he was second best. He thought the animals meant more to me than him, but that wasn't the case, they were just equal," Vicky explained. So when he couldn't contend with his emotions, he presented Vicky with the ultimatum. "I chose my crocodile over my husband. We sold our place and went our separate ways. It's a real shame, but it happened." Now she dedicates her time to caring for 33 animals, including snakes, lizards, turtles, and birds. All of her animals were once homeless pets, and Vicky has been hand-rearing wild animals throughout her life, understanding how to behave and interact with them. Therefore, during feeding time, she avoids making eye contact with her crocs, as they may become protective of their food. "I've devoted my entire life to these animals. They've always been my passion, and without them, I can't imagine having a fulfilling life," Vicky expressed. Even when her animals misbehave, she gently scolds them. Here's how her massive croc responded. Gilfia, the substantial saltwater crocodile, once devoured one of Vicky's live chickens, prompting her to issue a reprimand. Reflecting on the incident, she admitted, "I had to apologize to her because she was simply following her natural instincts." Surprisingly, Gilfia remained in her corner all day after Vicky's scolding. Nonetheless, Vicky considers her large outdoor croc, Jilly, to be a sweetheart. She does acknowledge the need for caution around Jilly, as a playful bite could result in the loss of a limb. However, Vicky possesses the necessary permits to keep these exotic pets. With over 3 decades of experience working with Australian native animals, Vicky has become an expert in their upbringing and care. She strongly advises against obtaining a crocodile on a whim, comparing it to acquiring a pit bull. Owning a pet crocodile is undoubtedly a significant responsibility, according to Vicky. She emphasized, the animal suffers, and they can pose significant dangers. I don't want to imply that only I can have them, but they are most certainly suited only for professionals.